things that matter most. Let me share you those 19 points. Now, this has mattered the most to me, okay? And all I ask you to do is to reflect on what is truly important to you. This is what is important to me. Number one, success is more than just making money. Prosperity is a definition in all areas. What is the point of me having money if I've destroyed my health and my relationships? How can I claim to be truly successful? Or I'm just living the lie? You'll see a lot of speakers. Occasionally, some speakers give you the best version of the truth. Great. How's things? Oh, mate, I'm earning $1 million. I'm into my 4th marriage. Questions? I've stopped speaking because I could actually see that this was ripping my marriage apart again, because I was out 150 nights last year. Not really great when you say to your wife, the reason I left corporate world to spend more time with you, and you're actually going back in the same cycle again. Number two, and some of you know this already because some of you are seasoned warriors. Life is hard and not always fair. Shit happens. It does. And you don't know why it does. But I would strongly suggest that you protect your heart. Because I've seen people who can't forget. But what's even worse, they can't forgive. And you know what the real tragedy is? They can't move on. It's like they're drinking poison hoping the other person dies. I would strongly suggest one of the greatest liberating factors, it sounds really weird, and I know this is hard, but learn to forgive people. Liberate yourself, not for them, but for you. It doesn't matter how they receive it, just send them an email. I asked everybody to forgive me. I rang up suppliers and I said, I'm sorry. I asked my wife to forgive me for the loneliness. That was hard. For 7 years of not being a husband. For 7 years that she had to raise the entire children when I was doing my stuff. I asked my dad to forgive me because I was hard as a kid. You know, he said white, I said black, we'd argue all the time. Number 3, I think life is fun and we're extremely funny. Guys, let's not take ourselves that seriously. Okay? You know, no one gets out alive. We get all, caught up in our own little world, and you've got to lighten up sometimes. You know, that's what I've got to lighten up sometimes. I've got to take all this stuff too seriously. Way too seriously. There's a great book about the power of humour in a healing process. There's a guy that had cancer, and supposedly all he did is he got his favourite movies, which happened to the Marx Brothers, and just watched them. And he got better. I think no one's talking about you. I think they've actually forgotten about you. So I think that's really important. Number 4, we live by choice, not by chance. There is a certain philosophy out there that actually says that it's a fatalistic approach to life. I do not believe in fatalism. I believe that we have choices. And I think, ultimately, the greatest single choice that Mr. Gattari has in his life is he can choose his attitude. Because I think my attitude will actually reflect my activity. Attitude is not my circumstance, because I can't win that game. My attitude precedes my circumstance. I had a great attitude when I was sick. You know what? I never said I was sick. Everyone said to me at work, you look terrible. I said, I'm fine. Everyone said to me, how are you feeling? Unbelievable, I said. I didn't lie. Could mean either way. Because I know something in life. What you confess, you will possess. Very, very. And if you study medicine, there's a lot to do with the power of the mind. So so I reckon, and you're not a tree. If you don't like something, change it. Like, you're not a duck, ducks always fly north. Doesn't matter, south or north, depending on what hemisphere you're in. What do they go? It's southern hemisphere, so they would go north, wouldn't they? Okay. Oh, let's go north for the... But, a duck goes... Now, a hunter's there. He's got a gun 100 metres away. The duck sees him. The duck still goes on that path and kills itself. You're not a duck. I'm going, choose! All right, so if you don't like, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing and expecting different results. So I reckon that's a big one. I think you're free to choose your attitude. I think number 6, good habits are the key to success. Habits are not formed overnight. They're not done here. Usually it's 21 days. You've got to build the muscle, but sometimes you have to tear the muscle. It's a tearing process. Habits. What are the habits? Number 7. This is a doozy for me. Being thankful is a habit. It's probably the best one you could ever have. I am just so amazed at the simplicity and the joy of Fijians. I am so amazed that the vast majority of those people out there who you see would probably earn, because I've done some work in Fiji, around about $3 Fiji an hour. I've been around Fiji. And what my greatest concern is, we focus on what we don't have. But what we should be doing is thankful of what we do have. Because I'm a marketeer, remember, I'm trying to trigger this. You've got to fight this battle. You've got to turn the volume down. We can call it lust if you want. And I think that there are basically 3 areas that you need to be thankful for. And you might, this is just an exercise that you could do just to refine, but I think there are 3 areas. Now, I think you've got to be thankful for stuff. And stuff's the material stuff. You know what I'm talking about. The car, the house. But I actually think you've got to be thankful for people in your life who may have entered your life. And I think the other thing that we sometimes forget, I call it other. You know what other is? Stuff that we take for granted in Australia. Freedom, choice, love, beauty, peace, intelligence, wisdom. We take all that stuff for granted. So I'm just actually going, that's me. Because I was always focused on what I didn't have. And then I got a key. And quite extraordinary. I have now received much more, not by focusing what I don't have, being thankful what I do have. Because the world operates in that spirit. It's like a flood. It's like a river that comes back to you. I don't know how it works. I reckon good people build up a life of foundation and respect. I think respect is shown in 4 ways. Manners. I think we have to actually be focused on manners, especially if you've got young teams. They're going to have manners. I think language. Only gracious words come from the wise. I have a really simple philosophy. I haven't worked on it, but if I've got nothing good to say about somebody, I say nothing at all. I try to avoid gossip because I actually think it's quite destructive. Number 3 in that, honour the rules. Show respect in all forms. If you've got business systems, honour the systems. That's what a system is there for. And number 4, which was quite challenging to me, appreciate people's differences. Because I could be really, I liked you because you were like me. But could I really embrace other people's differences?